Once again, welcome to Beat the Number, NBA Early Edition for Thursday, January the 30th. We're doing this on a Thursday morning, early in the wee hours of the morning. My name is Abby. Thank you for joining me as we try to beat the number for the point spreads, the over-unders, the totals on the NBA games. First game that we're going to be looking at the top is Detroit at Indiana. The spread is Indiana 5.5, total 228. Right now we're looking at 6.5. Total is 230. That's what it is right now. If you're wondering where we're getting this information from oddslogic.com, the latest updated to the minute line movements, point spreads, over-unders, totals, and we have the injury report. That's oddslogic.com. And we're going to look at the situation here with the Pistons to see if there's any injuries for the Pistons and the Pacers. On the Detroit side, Jaden Ivey out indefinitely. On the Indiana side, Andrew Nembhard, back injury, questionable for later on today against the Pistons. Isaiah Jackson, Achilles, out for this game. And James Wiseman out for the season. So Pacers and Detroit, we've already played each other three times. This is the fourth and final meeting. First meeting October 23rd in Detroit. Pacers were a 5.5 point favorite. Total was 235.5. Pacers won 115-109. They covered the points, 5.5. Second meeting in November of last year in Indiana. Pistons a 5-point favorite. Total was 230.5. Detroit won the game in Indiana, 130-106, and it went over 230. Third game in Detroit. And Pacers were favored in Detroit by 2. They won 111-100. The total was 228.5, and it went under the total. So the reoccurring theme is in this series that the road team has won on the home team's court. That's the reoccurring theme here. So again, this game is in Indiana. I have a pick for this game, an early pick. Pistons have lost 2 straight. They're 2-3 last 5 games, and 2-3 to the under, and 5-5 in the last 10 games. Indiana, meanwhile, 8-2 last 10, 8-2 against the spread, 3-6-1 to the under. Pacers last 5, 3-2, and they are 3-2 to the over. So my pick on this game is the Pistons. Pistons plus 6.5. They played very well on the road. Not only have they had lost 2 straight on the road prior to playing good on the road. They lost at Orlando and Cleveland. They did not cover either one of those spreads, but I believe they bounced back here at 6.5 now, your current number. And I like them here to cover the 6.5 point spread. Regarding the total, it's at 230 now. I like the over in this game, over 230. Over 230. Yeah, I like the over in this game a lot. Over 230 in this basketball game. So I like that here. And again, this is another factor too in this game. This is the first game off a road trip. Remember, Indiana was in Paris. They were coming from Paris. I know they had a few days off from Paris since Saturday, but it takes time for your body to adjust from a 5-hour time difference. It takes a very long time for your body to adjust. So I don't think, in my opinion, I don't believe 3 to 4 days is enough time. I think it's going to have a bit of an effect. First game back from Paris. So Detroit, they're catching them at a good time, in my opinion. And I believe they covered this 6.5, and it goes over 230. Next game, we're going to look at Toronto at Washington. Open 7.5, total 231. Right now we're looking at, I saw 6.5. Some 6.5s are coming back, and we're looking at 230. Totals 230. So on the injury front for the Raptors, Emmanuel Quigley ruled out with a hip injury. Kelly Olynyk is questionable with a calf injury for tomorrow's game. For Washington, Malcolm Brogdon, foot injury, ruled out. Marvin Bagley III, knee injury, is out. Saddiq Bey, knee injury, is out. I have no opinion on this game whatsoever. This game is a complete pass. Again, Toronto's a favorite for the first time on the road. They've never been a favorite on the road. And the line's gone from 7 to 6.5. Yeah, there's too much question marks here for me. I know the Raptors have won 4 in a row, but now they're under different circumstances now, different territory. Now you're a favorite on the road. Now you're the hunted. So teams have their eyes on you now. I know Washington has been pretty bad, but still, when it looks too easy, something's not right, in my opinion. When it looks too easy, something's not right about this. So I'm going to pass. I have no opinion on this game whatsoever. Next game, Brooklyn at Charlotte. Charlotte -3, total 208. Right now we're looking at, it came all the way down to 205. And the spread is at, we're seeing 3.5 start to pop up. That's what it is right now. On the injury report for Brooklyn, we are looking at Cam Johnson, ankle, out indefinitely. Cam Thomas, hamstring, out indefinitely. Bojan Bogdanovic is out indefinitely for Brooklyn. On the Charlotte side, Mark Williams, out for Brooklyn. Cody Martin, ruled out. LaMelo Ball, out indefinitely. Brandon Miller, out for the season. Trey Mann, out indefinitely. Grant Williams, out for the season. So let's look at this game here in general. Brooklyn and Charlotte. So they've already played once already, last year, November, beginning of the season. This was in Brooklyn. Brooklyn was, actually Charlotte, let me see. Yeah, Brooklyn was a 1.5 point favorite at home. Total was, the over-under was 219. Charlotte covered, but Brooklyn won by a point, 116 to 115. It was over 219. It went over the total. Second meeting, totals 205. Charlotte 2.5. 3.5 now. The line's 3.5. Excuse me, 3.5 right now. Brooklyn last 10 games, 1-9 last 10, 4-6 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. Brooklyn's in the last 9 straight games. Actually, excuse me, they've lost 7 straight games. Out of the 7, they've only covered 2 games. 1-4 to the under. Charlotte, 5-5 last 10, 5-3 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. Charlotte, 2-3 the last 5, and 1-4 to the under. So 2 struggling teams right now. The only thing I can look at right now is the Brooklyn team total under. That's the only thing I can look at right now. They're struggling to score. So my take is the Brooklyn team total under. That's what I can look at here. Yeah, that's the best angle for me. And I would lean to, let me see in this game. Brooklyn won the first game. The second game I would lean to Charlotte money line. That's just a lean, but my stronger play would be Brooklyn team total under and the game under, full game under. That's what I like here for this game. Next game we're going to look at Denver and New York. New York -3, total 243.5. Right now we're seeing it's come all the way down to 239.5. It's 3.5 New York right now. And now we're seeing 3.5 at BetMGM. Now we're seeing 2. 2s are starting to pop up. 2.5s are starting to pop up here. But mainly right now it's just 3.5s right now, mainly. Injury report for the Denver Nuggets. Vakalkal Kankar. Everybody else is healthy for for Denver. On the Knicks side, Josh Hart, knee injury, questionable. Mitchell Robinson, knee, questionable for tomorrow's game. So the Denver side, they've already played they played each other already. Last November last year, November 25th in Denver. Denver was a 3-point favorite. The Knicks did win, 145-118. It was over 234. So this is the second meeting. Denver right now, 7-3 the last 10 games against other opposition, 6-4 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Denver has won 4 straight games. They've covered 3 out of the 4 games as a favorite. Now they're an underdog. And they're 2-3 to the under. The last 2 games have gone over. So this is New York. My apologies. Sorry about that. New York has 4 straight wins. New York's won 4 in a row, covered 3 out of 4. They're 2-3 to the under. That's New York. I apologize. I said Denver. Sorry, it's New York. So now New York's at 3.5. It's 3. It opened up 3. It's still, let's see. We're seeing 3.5s mainly right now. Yeah, 3.5. Now on the Denver side, they're 7-3 as well last 10 games. 7-3 against the spread. 7-3 to the over. Denver's lost 2 straight games. You've lost the first 2 games on the road at Minnesota, at Chicago as favorites. Now they're in the underdog rule. And they have gone over 4-1 to the over the last 5 games. So I like Denver plus 3.5. I like them here. I know they're off 2 straight losses. The Chicago one, I felt they should have won that game. They let that one get away. They let that one get away. I don't know how they let it get away. But I believe this is a bounce back spot for Denver. Plus 3. I'll take them at plus 3.5. I wouldn't be surprised if they won the game. But I like him at plus 3.5. I like the Denver Nuggets here. And I like the over. Over 2. I know the number's coming down, but I still like the over 239.5. I like 239.5. I like the over. That's my play on that game. Next game we're going to look at. Now, keep in mind we don't have the player props available as of yet. We will do the player props in the next video for the NBA. I'll give you my best bets for the player props, but right now it's just the spreads and totals. Next game, Sacramento at Philadelphia. Sacramento -8. The total's 225. Right now we are looking at 7.5 across the board, and the total is 228.5. So we're going to check out the injury front here for Philadelphia. They played last night, so they're on a back-to-back. Sacramento had the day off to rest. Caleb Martin, groin injury, questionable. Paul George, questionable. He has a finger injury. Andre Drummond, toe injury, questionable Wednesday. Jared McCain, knee injury, out. Joel Embiid out indefinitely. Sacramento, looks like they're healthy. Yep, they're healthy. No injuries on their end. For the Kings, Now look at this matchup here. Okay, so they played at the beginning of the month. The beginning of this month they played. They played in Sacramento. Philly was a 6.5 point favorites, and Sacramento won 113-107. And the total was 220, and it went under the total. Now it's 228. It's gone up by 2 points. Sacramento last 10 games 7-3, 4-5-1 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. Sacramento so far 1-2 on the road trip. They're 3-2 in the last 5 games, and 3-2 to the under. 3-2 to the over. Sacramento. Philadelphia 3-7 last 10, 3-7 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. Philadelphia's won 3 straight games. They've covered all 3 games as an underdog. Covered 2 games as a home dog. 3-2 last 5. Philly is 3-2 to the over. That's Philadelphia. Now they're a 7.5 point underdog. This is a tough one here. Boy. The only way I can look, let me see. Yeah, the only way I can look, I have to lean to the over the total, over 228.5. That's the only play I have for this game. And if you want looking for player props, I look at some Malik Monk overs. The numbers haven't come out as yet, but whatever it is, I would bet the over the number for Malik Monk. I like his overs in this game. Over in points. So, like I said, we'll talk about the props tomorrow. I'll give you my best bets for the props, but the one that stands out for me is Malik Monk. That's the one that stands out for Sacramento. Next game, we're going to look at Cleveland at Miami. This one is -8 Cleveland, total 228.5. Right now we're looking at 7.5 across the boards, and at 227.5, it's come down. On the injury front for Cleveland, Isaac Okoro ruled out, Karis LeVert ruled out, Dean Wade out indefinitely. On the Miami side, Jamie Jacquez Jr. illness upgraded to probable. He may play Wednesday at Cleveland. Jimmy Butler still suspended. Josh Richardson out indefinitely. Heel. Drew Smith out for the season. So the head-to-head matchup between these two teams, that's Miami and Cleveland. So they've already played once already. Last year in Miami they played. Last month in Miami, and Cleveland was a 2.5 point favorite. Total was 223. Miami won 122-113. They won at home as a home dog, and now they're playing again in Miami. Cleveland at Miami. This time Cleveland's a 7.5 point favorite. In this series they've gone over 3 straight times. Cleveland right now 5-5 last 10 games against other opposition, 4-6 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Cleveland 2-3 last 5 games, and are 2-3 to the under. Miami 5-5 last 10, 4-6 against the spread, 5-5 even over under. 3-2 Miami last 5, and 3-2 to the over Miami. I have no play on this game. This game's a complete pass. I just might look at props in this game. I don't have any angle for this game at all. Just I look at props more than likely. Let's see. Next game is Chicago at Boston. Boston -14.5, total 234. Right now the total has come down to 232.5. Still -14. On the Boston side, Al Horford, toe, questionable. Jason Tatum, knee, questionable. Sam Hauser, questionable with a hip injury. On the Chicago side, Kobe White, ankle, questionable. Zach LaVine, personal issues, ruled out. Torrey Craig, leg injury, out indefinitely. I have no plan on this game at all. This is a pass. No play whatsoever. Might be looking at props. Might be looking at some Vucevic props. And some Boston props with Porzingis. That's it. No play on this game at all. And like I said, we'll be doing the best bets for the props tomorrow, and the next video tomorrow, or later on today, I should say. Next game, Clippers at San Antonio. Clippers are -3, total 224. Right now we're looking at fours are coming across the board. -4 Clippers. And the total is 222.5. So it's come down quite a bit. But the number's gone up to -4, Clippers. So look at the injury report. First for San Antonio, they're back off of the Paris trip at all. They're back from Paris. So they've been on the road as well, just like Indiana. So I have a plan on this game as well. San Antonio, healthy, no injuries. Clippers. Chris Dunn ruled out Wednesday with a knee injury. PJ Tuckered out for personal reasons. And then we're going to check the series head-to-head. They've played twice already. First game at LA, November 4th. Total is 215. Clippers favored by 4. Clippers won 113-104, and they covered. Second game in San Antonio, New Year's Eve, December 31st. San Antonio was a 3.5-point favorite, and they won 122-186 and covered, but it went under 219. Third meeting here is 3. It's 3.5. It's the number's trying to go to 4. Clippers 6-4 last 10 games, 7-3 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. They are 2-3 in the last 5 games, and they are, let's see, 2-3 to the under. San Antonio 3-7 last 10, 3-7 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Spurs 1-4 in their last 5 games. 5-0 to the over. 5 straight overs for San Antonio. So they've been on fire. They've been playing well. They're at home here. My take on this game, I do like the Clippers on the money line. I like him here to win. I like him to bounce back. Yeah, I like him in this spot here. I like him a lot here. They lost a tough one to Phoenix on the road. But I like him in a bounce back spot here. They're on a 4-game road trip. I expect them to win the next 3 games, starting with San Antonio. And then they play Charlotte and then Toronto. So I expect them to win the next 3 games. Clippers starting later on today at San Antonio. So Clippers money line, and I like the over. Over 222.5. Like I said, I know it has come down a bit, so it's 220. Yeah, 222.5. I like the over. I still like the over in this game. Clippers money line and the over. I like that. Next game, Dallas at New Orleans. Dallas is -2, 2-point favorites. Total 231. Right now it's come down to 1.5. Total is 231.5. Now on the Dallas side for injuries, we know Luka is still out. Other noteworthy, let me see. So other noteworthy injuries on the Dallas side. Dwight Powell ruled out with hip injury. Maxi Kleber, ankle injury, out indefinitely. Dante Exum, wrist injury, out. Derek Lively, foot injury, out indefinitely. On the New Orleans Pelicans side, for New Orleans, Herb Jones, shoulder injury, out. Brandon Ingram, out. Ankle injury. Let's look at this matchup here. This is Dallas. Dallas at the Pelicans. They played twice already. November 19th at Dallas. Dallas was a 13-point favorite, and the total was 223. Dallas won 132-91, and it was a push at 223. Second game was 2 weeks ago in New Orleans, and New Orleans was a 1-point favorite. Total was 222.5. The Pelicans won 119-116, and it went over the total. So this is the third meeting now. Dallas 4-6 last 10, 4-6 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. 2-3 last 5, 4-1 to the over. That's Dallas. Pelicans 5-5 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Pelicans have lost 3 straight games on the road. They lost at Memphis, lost at Charlotte, and in Toronto. They've lost 3 in a row. So they have a brief 2-game homestand against New Orleans and Boston. I mentioned the series head-to-head is 1-1. So both teams have won on their home floor. Let's see here. Pelicans have lost 3 straight. Now they are an underdog. And they're 3-2 to the over. Yeah, I have to look at the over here. I know the Pelicans, the offense has gone down a little bit the last 2 games on the road. But I have to go over to, I know the number is going down. I'm not sure why. But it's 231.5. I still like the over. I like the over in this game. I disagree with the number going down. I like over 231.5. And I would take, because I don't like taking teams coming off a road trip. So I'm looking at the number here. It's 1. It's 3. Sorry, 3. It's gone down to 2. Now it's 1.5. I like Dallas in the money line. I take Dallas to win the game. I think Dallas wins this game. Pelicans don't look right. I think Dallas is going to win this game. I like Dallas here on the money line. I know the last game in New Orleans was 119-116. Well, New Orleans was favored. Now Dallas is favored now. I like Dallas here, money line. This is the third meeting as well. So Dallas wins this game, money line, and I like the over. Next game here, Minnesota Phoenix. I have a play on this game as well. Phoenix is -1, total 218. Right now we're looking at Minnesota, the favorites. They are 1.5. Minnesota in this game, Dante DiVincenzo, toe is out indefinitely. Phoenix side, Kevin Durant, questionable with a thumb injury. Ryan Dunn, questionable with an ankle injury. I'm going to guess Durant's going to play on Thursday. Phoenix had a day off yesterday, or a day or 2 off. So I think Durant's going to play tomorrow. I think he does play. Again, this is a marquee game. We'll get into this further. We'll look into this further. This is Phoenix and Minnesota. I have a play on this game as well that I like. First meeting was in Minnesota. They were 7.5-point favorites. Total was 218. Phoenix covered, but Minnesota won 121-17. The total was 218 and went over the total. So Minnesota's beat this team 5 straight times. They've gone over in 3 straight meetings. Minnesota's won 3 straight games overall. They're 2-1 to the over, 3-2 last 5, and 3-2 to the over. Phoenix last 10 games, 8-2 last 10, 4-5-1 against the spread, 4-5-1 to the under. Phoenix has won 3 straight games. They won 2 straight games at home. They are 1-4 to the under. So Phoenix doing it with the defense. They're winning 3 straight with defense. 2 of the 3 wins were against bottom feeders, Washington and Brooklyn. Clippers, they won. That was a quality win. Now they have to step up in class and play Minnesota, who has beaten the Clippers 3 straight times. So until Phoenix can prove that they can beat Minnesota, because they haven't beaten them in 5 tries, I'm going to take Minnesota on the money line. Minnesota money line, and I lean to the. I don't have a play on the total. I have no play on the total. I just like Minnesota on the money line, just to win the game outright. I like that one. The last and final game will be OKC at Golden State. This one, OKC 10.5 point favorites, total 228. Right now we are looking at, let's see, still, well, we see a 9.5. I just saw a 9.5 from BetOnline, 9.5. So I just saw that. And yeah, so it's 9.5 right now. The majority of the 9.5, BetMGM as well, 9.5. So it's coming down a bit. But the majority is 10, but a few books are starting to go 9.5. And the total is 229 in it. 229. That's the total right now. 229 is the total. I even saw 228. So it's starting to come down a little bit. We'll say 229. Injury report for Golden State, because they played last night. We'll look at them first. Steph Curry. Let's look at him. Questionable to play Wednesday versus OKC. Draymond Green is out indefinitely with a calf injury. Jonathan Kuminga out indefinitely with an ankle injury. On the OKC side, for the Thunder, Luke Dortz. Luke Dortz is upgraded to available on Wednesday at Golden State with a knee. He's upgraded. Chet Holmgren hip injury is out indefinitely. For this game here, OKC Golden State, they've already played 2 times already. First meeting was November 10th at OKC early in the year. OKC was a 6.5 point favorite. Golden State covered and won the game 127-116. Second meeting in Golden State and went over the total 228. Second meeting in OKC November 27th at Golden State. Warriors were -4. Actually, the Thunder were -4 as a home dog. And the total was 224.5. So the Thunder won and covered. They covered the 4. And it was under the total, under 224.5. OKC right now, 7-3 the last 10 games against other opposition, 5-5 against the spread, 8-1-1 to the over. OKC 3-2 last 5 games, and 3-1-1 to the over. Golden State, 5-5 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 5-5 over under. Warriors 2-3 last 5 games, and are 3-2 to the over. So both teams are 3-1-1 to the over, 3-2 to the over. And the first 2 games split, the over-under split. This one here is at 228. This one's in Golden State. I know the Warriors played last night too. Now there's 10. The game's at -10. Now, like I said, it's come down to, I think we saw, let me see, yes, 9.5. It's come down a bit. Wow. I'm going to say, let's see here. This game head-to-head is 9-1 to the over. So I like the over in this game. Over two. It's 229. It's gone to 230, I believe you said. 228. 229. Yeah, I like the over. I'll take over 229 and a half. I like the over in this game. I don't have a play on the side, just the over 229 and a half. That's it. I don't have a side to side I'm staying away from. That's all I have. So that's it for today's episode of Beat the Number, NBA Early Edition, NBA Early Morning Edition. Beat the Number. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're able to catch the early number on the over-unders and on the point spreads. Good luck to you, whether you fade or follow. I hope you still cash those tickets. Again, good luck. Stay true to yourself. Stay humble. Believe in yourself. Peace. Talk to you tomorrow. We'll talk about the player props, the best bets for the player props, and we'll go over some more best bets for the NBA. Peace. Take care.